All right, everyone. Well, thank you for being here for Jade's end of year presentation. Super excited to hear what Jade has to share about her first year on campus, her growth, her accomplishments, as well as a little bit of a look forward to what she has on the horizon. Jade will present for about 10 to 15 minutes. Following that, I'll offer a few comments and then open the room up and whoever would like to comment. Starting first with our faculty and staff, we I think have some folks online as well who might comment. I'll try to monitor the chat. But Jade, share with us how your year has gone. That's what we're here for. Excited to hear.
Hi guys, I hope as most of y'all may know, I'm Jade and this is going to be my 2022-2023 year in review. So you may be sitting here wondering, what did Jade do freshman year? Well, I was making this and I was reflecting, so honestly it was a good way. Oh, ignore that it's like section header. I just realized I didn't change that. But so first, there's the three pillars it talks about are so knowledge, leadership, and service. So first I'm going to talk about knowledge and academic accomplishments. I think this semester especially was a large part of my growth in discovering what I truly like doing and what I want to continue doing. So that was the addition of computer science. So I recently this semester I took my first programming class, and it was like, this is something that I've always been interested in. I really just wanted to highlight the fact that I was a woman in STEM now. But I think being a woman in STEM is something that I've always admired women in STEM, because I think being a part of the minority whenever, like, in order to like pioneer more growth and more knowledge in the world is something that I want to be a part of. And I think being able to like serve as someone people can look up to and like think, oh, I can do this, because specifically Janelle, like Janelle's a computer science major, and I was like, dang, like if she can do that, like surely like I can do something like that. So I decided to take programming 1, and to say the least, I really enjoyed it and it's something that I want to continue doing. But yes, so computer science or programming 1 has exposed me to completely new material that I would have not have known existed otherwise. Like I understood like coding and stuff, but if you would have asked me maybe in like fall, like November, like what Java was, I would have been like, oh, Java City. And I would have like said, let me get a master or something. But no, Java is actual language. So it's really interesting, because I used to be so scared of taking anything that had to do with like STEM and implementing it into my life, just because it's something that I've definitely struggled with. But I need to, like, this semester especially has taught me that like that should not stop me in any way from like even trying it, because I tried to do something with STEM. Like it really opened my eyes to like what I enjoy doing. Next, for leadership and professional development, again, with this like kind of bouncing off of becoming like into programming, I realized that ACM exists, so the Association for Computing Machinery. So it's basically just an organization here on campus that is revolving around computing and machinery. And thanks to Janelle again, I discovered that I can become a datathon organizer, which is the biggest datathon event in San Antonio. And it's partnering with the NSA and other partners, which is really cool to work with. So what I'm doing basically is PR and outreach. So I made the infographic that was presented to the different partners at NSA to try and get us more sponsors basically for datathon, which is something that's pretty important because we need money in order to make it happen. So it's been really cool, like seeing like the inner workings of what goes into planning such a big event. And although I've only been in it for a few weeks, like I've seen like a extreme amount of like collaboration and like just like again the inner workings of what it takes. Next, for service and community development, well, so I think Michael was like talking about like the International Women's or Mujeres Marcharan, sorry, and they were organizing the International Women's Day March, which is on March 8th every year. But there's a march in San Antonio that the Mujeres Marcharan Coalition was helping organize. So we went to the meetings on Wednesdays to discuss like the logistics of the march, which again was really interesting to see, because like again, like it's just a bunch of passionate people in our community coming together in order to create something such like as big as the march. for the International Women's Day. So it was really interesting to see how everyone came together and did that. So an example of what we did was we did outreach, as you can see in the picture on the top left. So like we went downtown on First Friday to do outreach to so we hung up posters, we handed out little cards to people. And then I feel like this was a really pivotal moment for me this semester because it made me realize that I do enjoy talking to people and doing outreach, because who would have thought that I could just get a piece of paper and go up to someone and be like, hey, how do you feel about this, or hey, you should do this. It was really interesting, especially on such a busy day like First Friday in San Antonio. This is the first Friday I've been to in a really long time, and I kind of forgot just how massive the turnout is. So doing that, doing outreach in such a large environment was really profound, had a profound impact on me. And then on the bottom, that was us on the International Women's Day March. It was really hot that day, but it was fun nonetheless. Also, I just want to mention the shirts that we're wearing, we made them at the thing, but then it was a ink press, and they messed up mine. I was you could barely see the little flower. I was but it's okay, it was super cool. Next, this was one of the goals I set for myself at the beginning of the year. So to preface, I realized that I wanted to become a mentor to the debate students at my old high school whenever I was at selection. I remember on the student panel, I heard Dylan talking, and he said that he was a robotics mentor to Brandeis High School students. And I was I enjoy debate. I don't want to leave it just yet. So I was what can I do? And then whenever I heard what Dylan was doing, I was oh my goodness, this is something I could feasibly do. And I remember, so because I remembered that, it is something that I implemented, or something that I wrote down in my SMART goals, which I'll talk about a little bit more later. So I reached out to my debate teacher because we had a pretty good relationship since I was involved in the club a lot. So I reached out to him and I was hey, what are your thoughts on me showing up and talking to the debate 1 and 2 classes? And he was amazing. So I went actually the first day I went was on my birthday. I thought it was kind of funny. I just pulled up on Friday, and then because that was the day I didn't have any classes, so I was free pretty much the whole morning. So I went, and honestly, I was nervous. I was oh my gosh, these kids are gonna think I'm annoying. They're gonna be what is this college kid doing here? And then I was I just had these thoughts, and I was you know what, I'm here because I want to be here and I want to help these kids. And I really think because I got into that mindset, I was able to help them in a way that was beneficial to them. So for example, my specialty whenever I was in there was Congress. So we were it's in a room with 30 people, and then you go up and give a 3-minute speech. So one of the main things that you want to do in there is grab the attention of your audience. So that looks like having what my teacher likes to call an attention getting device. So it's a little fun thing to say whenever you first go up there. But something I like to implement whenever I was there, which I helped teach the baby debaters, was a little speech. So for example, for me, it was I would walk up there and say, hi, this is Representative Romero, rhymes with Camaro, speaking for whatever. So it's ooh. So there's this one student, their last name was Walker, and I helped them come up with this thing. So they're they would walk up and be this is Representative Walker walking up here for their whatever time. And I don't know, I thought it was pretty funny. So it was really helpful or really fun to help them come up with fun little things to make them stand out in the crowd. And then not only that, but I would help them, I would show them how I outlined my speech and what I found helpful. And they would take ideas from that. But also this was a really good learning experience for me because I realized that not everyone learns the same way. So the student Walker, well, his first name was Jason, but he was whenever I showed him my outline, he was what is that? And I was I explained it, and he was that doesn't make sense. So I had to take a step back and realize, oh, Jason does not learn this way. So I had to because for my outlines are bullet points, and instead he likes to do paragraphs so that he knows more directly what he wants to say. So I was okay, so I helped him plan out his paragraphs and made them easy to read during round. So yeah. These are some fun moments that yeah. This one was at our Friendsgiving, and then the top one was whenever Jose, Jasmine, and I randomly decided to go to a vacations concert. Yeah, that was kind of random. Oh, and then I want to mention, I give a special shout out to Salata. If you have not been, it is fantastic. I'm not gonna lie, their salads are really expensive, but I did not know what salad was, so I stepped foot in that place. Like, my one is so yummy. So yes. Now, smart goals. So like I mentioned earlier, I did become a debate mentor. So that was, well, I remember walking in my first one-on-one and Christy was like, peace, goals, or basic, and I was like, ah. And granted, they really were,
I
like,
think I said it like that. Hey, how was her? Maybe.
I'm just kidding. But yeah, granted, they really were like the debate mentor, applied to FBI, and I think get all A's, which I accomplished all three, but I realized very quickly that they were not challenging me as much as I needed them to challenge me in order to grow. And that's something that I try to implement in the spring semester. So the debate mentor, yes, I did that. And then for first spring semester, I wanted to do something with like, well, because like I feel like I've struggled with like food and like cooking like my whole life. So I wanted to really like try and like fix that aspect of my life a little bit this semester. So like my goal was like meal prep and like do cooking. So on a one fateful day, Jasmine and I were talking about a toaster oven, and then lo and behold, we got a toaster oven, and I can safely say that was one of the best purchases of the year because it really helped me create meals and stuff like that. And yes, and then moving on to some goals that I tried, but I did not ultimately get. So I applied for a lot of things, I feel like, but unfortunately I did not get like selected for them. But ultimately that's just a learning experience, and I'm going to be getting rejected from tons and tons of things, but that's not going to stop me from trying again. Like I got rejected from CASA, which is like an organization, like it's like a Mexico US like relation for economics, like specifically dealing like with the international relations. So I emailed Martha, who is like the head person to email. So I emailed her, like it was like a cold email, and I was just like, hello, like this is who I am, like I'm interested in volunteering, like what can I do? And then she emailed me back and she was like, hi, like just give me a call. And so we had a call, and then she was like, unfortunately, we do not take any volunteers or have any openings, but like it was really like nice talking to you. And then she like pointed me into the direction of other opportunities that manifested later on in the year. So it was like, although I did not achieve what I wanted to in the end, like I did gain something out of it. Same thing with the FBI. Although like I really wanted to do the internship, it just did not pan out, and that makes sense because I feel like my resume was not up to par with what like other applicants would have doing, which is what I'm working towards, to like become like my own unique person that is able to stand out amongst the tons of people who are applying. So just because I didn't get in this year, like I'm gonna apply again next year, and if I don't get it next year, like that's okay, I'll keep applying. So maybe you're wondering, okay, what are you gonna do in the summer? What are you gonna do now? So thankfully I did get an internship with Fiesta for the Mind through Students in Startup. So I will be working with Susan and Michelle, which is really funny because of the overlap that it has with the Top Scholar community, just because Susan and Michelle were working with Tejas for TEDx. So I remember when I went to go interview with them and they saw Top Scholar on my resume, they were like, Tejas, you know Tejas, huh? And I was like, what is going on? Like, I do know Tejas. And then they were like, TEDx. And I was like, yeah. And then that's kind of the story of how I got into working with TEDx, just because like of the strange interconnecting of it. So I'm really excited to be doing that this summer. And the role that I'll be doing is business development, which you may be like, you're like global affairs, computer science, what does business have to do with this? Well, I think this is going to be a perfect opportunity for me to further develop my skills on, well, because I'm going to be writing like helping writing grants and dealing more outreach and stuff, which what I've learned from this past year is that I do enjoy outreach and I do enjoy talking with different companies and sponsors. So I'm going to be able to refine those skills as well as gain new skills when it comes to working with nonprofits, working with companies in general. So I think this is a great opportunity for me to meet new people as well as gain new skills. So again, you may be wondering, what are you going to do now? Well, I have my global affairs major. That has not changed. That is still set in stone. But then my addition of computer science, like, what am I going to do with that? Well, I think my ultimate goal is to continue learning like I know that I'm still stuck with the intelligence community, and that's something that I will continue to strive for. But I think in order to get there, there's so many steps I have to take. So I think my two main goals right now are to continue learning more coding languages. Like I know next semester I'll be learning C, but I want to learn Java as well as JavaScript. So those are my two main things that I want to learn, and hopefully I can eventually make it into an app. Like I think if I were to set a goal for myself for like until I grad or yeah, like by the end of until I graduate, I want to make it by the time I graduated, excuse me, by the time I graduated, I would have liked to become proficient enough in these to like have developed an app that will be helpful. So I want to be able to do global affairs and incorporate my computer abilities into that. Oh yeah, so the two main goals, learning the computer languages as well as learning another language. Like I know I want to learn some sort of like I think I want to learn. No, I know I want to learn Japanese or Chinese. It just depends on which one I'll be able to like take classes for. But even if I don't get into like the Chinese course here, like I'll take Japanese on my own time. Like I plan on having like my good friend Anna, a little polyglot. So yes. So I think the main takeaway that I've had from this year was that paths will change, and ultimately they need to change in order for you to grow. Like, again, if you would have asked me in August, like, would you ever consider STEM? My answer would honestly be no. Like, I would like shrivel away from it. I'd be scared. But I think being scared is what has helped me grow into like someone who knows what they want to do more or less. So I think understanding that paths will change is something that I'm able to take away from this year. This year, I want to give it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. So I've made many great memories, and I've met new people, and I learned the fact again that I'm not allergic to STEM. But the only thing that I wish I would have done more is just expand my social circle, like not in it like because I feel like I stuck really strictly to Top Scholar, which is great, but through the TEDx event, whenever I was like helping with the idea lab, I realized that I really enjoy talking to people, like even if it's just like randomly, I'll be like, hey, like I remember I talked to this one dad for like 20 minutes about like global warming at the TEDx event, and we were just chatting, and I realized I like doing this, and I don't know why I didn't do this year. So it's like this is something I'm going to do in the summer with student startup, and it's something I'm going to continue to do throughout the rest of my years. And above all, I'm thankful for this program, and I cannot wait to continue to strive for more. Thank you.
Wonderful job, and it's exciting to see and hear what you have done this year. And I hope you will take the energy that you have right now and just maintain it and sustain it. Because I think you are enjoying what you're doing, and that's going to be a key to your success. And take that energy and excitement for all that you're doing, which is tremendous, and pass it on to that class that's going to start with this in August. So great job, really great job. Other folks have comments, thoughts?
I love that you're going more STEMmy. No, I think it's very representative of what the IC is doing, going more cyber, comp sci, like technology focused.
Yeah.
I think that's a really smart way to address it, and realizing that now is good. I mean, Catherine's done like, you know, she's doing more STEMmy stuff, even though global affairs. So I'm happy to see that you're, you know, being intentional with your pursuits. Are you thinking of the Intel minor?
Yeah, I just need to declare it. Like,
So I don't believe Japanese is considered one of the languages you can learn with it, but Mandarin is.
okay.
So just recommend that for that, but proud of you. I'm excited to see what all you accomplish. I remember when you were interviewing, I was like, I want Jade here. It was literally like all of y'all, obviously, but I was like, I want a global affairs major here. So Catherine and I can fight over having another global affairs major here. But love you. Excited to see what you do, and run into you in DC in a couple years.
Oh, 100%. I'll be there.
Hey Jade, I still remember like in selection, where I had to walk you to Dr. Stefanova's for your one-on-one. And I was like, okay, this is gonna go fine. And then he went to Dr. Stefano's office, and then Kayla texted me and she's like, where is Jade? Because Dr. Stefano loved you so much, he took you like to another room and introduced you to a bunch of people. And I was like, oh, Jade's gonna be great, I can't wait to meet her. And then when you got to campus, now I'm getting to see like all these cool things that you've been working on. I'm like really excited to hear your perspectives on going from non-STEM to like a STEM like discipline, because I went the opposite direction. And I feel like it kind of touched on what you said earlier. I feel like being that multidisciplinary, like coming from that background, you get the opportunity to talk to a lot of people that you never even think to have conversations with. And I think if you really enjoy that, you're gonna find that the more you go into STEM, even though that might not seem to fit the STEM stereotype, I think you'll have the opportunity to engage in some really cool conversations. I'm really happy you're gonna go down that path, and I'm looking forward to all the cool things you do.
All right, great job. Great job.
You be creative about what you're doing.
Maybe and by that I mean looking for those opportunities that are outside of, I'm a part of this RSO and I took X class, and you mentioned Dr. Stefanova, that's a phenomenal contact to have for that sort of thing.
Was that, was your happening?